Hello guys. So in this session we are going to learn how to run ELK stack on Docker. So let's start. So first of all, we need this prerequisite. So first of all, we need Docker install and configure. We need Docker Compose install and configure. We need to install Git and clone the ELK Docker repository. We need to access the web browser to view the Kibana dashboard. Then we need to access the internet to pull plugins, and we need the command line interface that we need to run this command. So as you can see here, I have successfully launched my instance, and here I have successfully connected to my terminal. You can see welcome to Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. Okay, so let's start. So let's start to run ELK stack on Docker. So first of all here, So first of all, as you can see, we need to update the repository. So first of all, we need to run this. So we need to install Docker and install and configure. Okay. So let's update the repository first. So let's update this repository using the following command: sudo apt update. So as you can see, is updating the packages. Okay. Then after that, we need to install Docker, right? Okay, so let's install Docker using the following command. So the command is sudo apt install Docker. It's done. After installing Docker, we need to give two permissions to Docker. So let's run this command to give permission. So as you can see here, we have successfully give two permissions here. Okay. Okay. So now then the next step is let's check the status of our Docker. So as you can see, it's active running and it's 33 seconds ago. And if you want to check, then you can check Docker version also. Okay. Now let me clear the screen first. Okay, so we have successfully installed Docker. Okay. Now the next step is let's install require package. That means let's install and configure the Docker Compose. Okay. Now, first of all, let's update the system package using sudo apt get update, or you can enter only sudo apt update command. Okay. Then after that, let's install the this curl command, right? So certificate authority package for verifying the third party identities. Okay. Okay, it's done. Then let's add a Docker repository. Okay. So for that, first of all, let's set the ownership to the permissions. Okay. Then after that, let's download the key with curl command. Then after that, let's set the read permission for the key. And now in last, let's add the Docker repository to the list of apt sources using echo command. Okay, it's done. Then after that, let's install the Docker Compose plugin. So once the Docker repository is registered on the system, then install the Docker Compose plugin via apt by following the steps, right? Okay, so let's update the system package first. And then after that, let's install the Docker Compose. First of all, let's install Docker Compose plugin. And then I'm going to install Docker Compose. So as you can see, We have successfully installed Docker Compose and Docker Compose plugin also. Okay. Then the next is, let's check the Docker Compose version. Okay. So it's done. Now it's time to install Git. But in this, we have already by default installed Git. Okay. So if I run the Git, you can see the commands. And if you don't have Git, then you can install Git also. You can see Git. So first of all, let's us update the system package. And then let's install the Git from the default Ubuntu repository by running the following command: sudo apt install Git. So as you can see, it's done. Okay. Now, if you want to verify the Git version, then you can run the command git hyphen version. Okay. Then now let's install Git on Ubuntu. Okay, we have successfully installed the Git, right? Now to set up the latest version of Git Ubuntu, so let's download it from the source code. Okay, if you want to install the latest version. So now let's start by installing the required dependencies from the Git on Ubuntu. So let's run this. Okay, it's done. Then after that, let's create a new TMP directory and move to that directory. That means let's inside this directory. So first of all, let's create the directory using mkdir tmp. Then let's inside the tmp directory. Then after that, let's install the elk on Docker. Okay. So to change the values on Linux, so let's run the following command if you want. Then check. You can see. Okay, it's done. Then after that, let's pulling the image. Okay, so for that, to pull the ELK image from the Docker registry, let's open the terminal and run. So let's run this command. So as you can see, it's pulling the image, right? So wait for a few seconds. So it's the command for pull the ELK image from the Docker registry. Okay. So we need to wait for a few seconds. Okay. So as you can see, it's done, right? So pull complete. Okay. Now the next step is, let's use the tags to specify the specific version of Elasticsearch. Okay. So now our tag is latest, right? So let's enter the command, and after that our tag is latest. Okay, it's done. Image up to date, as you can see, and the tag also. Okay, now let's clear the screen. After that, the next step is let's building the image from source file. Okay, so as you can see here, first of all, there are two ways to build the image from the source file. Use either this Docker or Docker Compose. Okay, so let's start. So first of all, let's clone this Git repo. Now if I enter the ls command, as you can see the repo, so let's inside the repo. Now if I run the ls command, as you can see there is a files. Okay, so let me clear screen first. Then, so using Docker build, so to build the Docker image with the Docker build command, so we need to run this to build the Docker image. Okay, so let's build the Docker image using following command. So it takes few seconds to complete. As you can see, it's building the image. As you can see, it's running, right? It's unpacking OpenJDK and so on. You can see the commands. As you can see here in building 7 out of 33. So we need to wait for this. So it takes few minutes to complete. So as you can see now it's exporting to image, that exporting the layers you can see, right? So it takes few minutes to complete. So as you can see, it's done. You can see, done, right? Okay. So let's clear the screen. So as you can see, first of all, you are writing image. You can see the image, right? Okay. So let's clear the screen. After that, let's open the Docker Compose YAML file and in this text editor, Nano. So I'm going to use Nano editor. So let's open this Docker Compose.yaml file. And in this file, first of all, I'm going to remove this because I'm going to enter this code because here services, then ELK, build and port. So you need to open 3 ports on your security group. 5601 for Kibana, 9200 for Elasticsearch, and 5044 for Logstash. So let's clear the screen and exit. Sorry, let's save the file and exit. As you can see, we have successfully saved this file. Okay. Then now, next is let's build the image using the following command. So it's docker compose. So that's why here we are. The command is sudo docker compose build elk. As you can see, it's building. Okay, it's done. Then after that, let's installing the plugins. So open the Docker file located in the repository directory. So our Docker file name is Docker file, right? So in this repo, our Docker file is located. So that's file. Let's enter the command sudo nano docker file. Okay. Now let's scroll down. Okay, now that's the end. Okay, so now here, first of all, let's add the following at the end of the Docker file. So from here to here, let's add. So here, this is the Elasticsearch. So let's enter the plugins for Elasticsearch, right? Okay. So I'm going to enter the plugins of Elasticsearch. So you can enter any plugins of Elasticsearch, whatever you want. Okay, so that's the plugins of this. You can use this. Okay. After adding plugin, so we need to build the Docker image with the Docker build command. So let's build this command. So let's run this command to build Docker image. It's done. So it's successfully built, as you can see, right? Okay, let me clear screen first. Okay. And then the next one is Logstash. Okay. So let's follow the steps to install Logstash plugin. So let's add to the end of the Docker file. Enter the plugin for Logstash. Let's build the image using the following command for Logstash. Okay, it's done. Now, same for Kibana. Okay, let's repeat and same for the Kibana. Let's enter the plugin of Kibana. Okay, it's done, right? So we have same for the log, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and then Kibana. Okay. Okay. Now it's done. Okay. Now okay, now for the image via image. Okay. So from to start the whole ELK stack container via Docker run. So let's use the following command. Now, if I'm going to copy the instance IP and it on browser and the port number of Kibana, sorry, Elasticsearch is 9200. As you can see, as of now, there is no any output. Okay. Now, as you can see here, to start the whole ELK stack container via Docker, so we need to run this following command. So let's run this. So we need to wait for a few seconds. So we need to wait for a few seconds. After that, there is output. Okay. So in this, first of all, we have installed the plugins of this ELK stack, right? Sorry, Elasticsearch, then Logstash, and then Kibana. Okay. And then now we are going to access the output in browser, right? So as you can see, it's done. So you can see the output of your Elasticsearch, sorry. So yeah, Elasticsearch, right? You can see the name ELK, cluster name Elasticsearch, cluster ID, version, build flavor, build type, build hash, build date. Okay, you can see the details of this. Okay, now it's time to access Kibana, right? Okay, so let's copy the instance IP, hit on browser, and the port number of Kibana is 5601. So as you can see, it's loading elastics. We need to wait for a few seconds. Okay. Welcome to Elastic Explore on my own. And as you can see, the Kibana dashboard. If I'm going to click on here, you can see the details of this. Right? It's done. Okay. So in this session, we have learned how to run ELK stack on Docker. So thank you for watching and I hope you understand.